All right. So, what's happening? What we're talking about the marriage and the dating, right? When you're dating somebody, I purposely do things. So, I'm not gonna say I purposely do it, but um, I don't feel like I have to always be glammed up, right? Uh, Men and women tend to be superficial, very superficial. So I want someone, when they see me, I want them to see me in my what they would call the ugliest state. Now, for me, I don't have an ugly state. I don't believe in an ugly state. You have a natural state, but you don't have an ugly state. But some people think that natural is ugly. They think that wearing your natural hair is ugly. They think that, not wearing makeup is ugly, right? So I always say for them, because they always call this the ugly state, but for me, this is a natural stage. I want someone to see me in my most natural stage whatsoever. And if that person can love me in that state, then I know that that person is real. But if I sit there and I wear makeup all the time and I always have, this long weave in my head and you can never see my natural state, whatever, but you fall in love with that person. The moment I go back to my natural state, you will not find me desirable. The marriage will not work. We will not be together, right? So, and the sad thing is the world knows how superficial the world is, so people were intentionally trying to do everything they can to make me to be ugly, right? They saw that I was a decent looking woman, emphasis on decent. I don't really like to talk about all that beauty stuff. Brings arrogance. I don't like it, like vanity, all that stuff. We stay away from that. So what the world saw when they saw me, because I used to wear very baggy clothes because I had no money to afford any clothes, so I bought what I could afford. So I always wore sweatpants, and it was always cold, and that's the only thing that I could afford that could keep me warm. So the world always saw me dressed up. They never saw what I looked like. But then, I was like, I learned how to love myself in that state. I learned how to be so comfortable in this, what people would consider to be an ugly stage, right? I would go out and I would have conversations with no problem, not worrying about beauty or nothing like that. And I learned how to be me, and that's where I learned my personality. So once I got through that stage, I was like, well, you got enough money. You can go to the thrift store. You can buy you some clothes to, dress up a little bit, try to find somewhere to go. The world kept trying to make me to be ugly. They saw that I was a decent looking woman. And they didn't want people to try to talk to me or date me or whatever. They didn't want to look strange to see why is this woman, she's a decent woman, but nobody's talking to her. So they started doing things to try to make me look unattractive, right, to people, superficial. And I would always say, if this works, then that person is not somebody that I'm supposed to be with. If it works and they are looking and they're saying, well, we can see that, they're trying to make her to be unattractive and so and so, and I don't really want to date her, I can't be with that person, right? Because they wouldn't be strong enough to love me in my natural state. When I go into the world, I don't want to get glammed up all the time. I want to be natural. So they will always feel like I have to put on extra to be in front of the